Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to a little Torah, a Biselleh Torah. And we're amidst of the holiday this week of Pesach, of Passover. And during the first two evenings of Passover, we celebrated with the Seder. The Seder was replete with lots of learning, much storytelling, a lot of prayers, midrashim, and of course, songs. Amongst the most famous of all the songs that is universally loved and sung with great zest is Dayyenu. However, the song isn't as playful as perhaps it appears at first blush, and it's that I want to share with you during these few moments. As we progress through the song Dayyenu, let me share just a couple of the verses with you. One of them reads, "If God had led us to the water and not drowned the Egyptian soldiers in it, Dayyenu." Do you realize the import of that statement? If the Egyptians had not drowned in the water, they would have taken us back as slaves, and at best, we would have been in servitude and disappeared forever. At worst, they would have murdered us. And the next verse says, if God had taken us into the desert and not fed us manna for 40 years, Dayyenu. I come back to the same question. If God had not fed us for 40 years in the desert with manna, what would have happened? We would have starved to death. There's no food in the desert for us. Dayyenu, can we really say Dayyenu about that? It's this that really comes to the crux of the issue of what Passover is all about. This innocuous song, Dayyenu. When is enough enough? When is enough clothes enough clothes? When can you stop saying, I have to buy some new ones? When can we actually repair the old ones? When do we have enough shoes? When do we have enough alcohol? When do we have enough drugs? When do we have enough cars? The question can be asked in myriad ways, and our society is almost toxic in the way that it aggregates more and more to itself, believing that somehow more is better. And we never arrive at that very precious and powerful word, Dayyenu. I have enough. I am enough. I don't require anything else. You know, in the Mishnah, in Pirkei Avot, it asks the question, Ezehu Ashir, who is rich? It provides the answer, the person who can say Dayyenu, the person who can say, I have enough, I'm satisfied. That is richness. It is a richness that escapes us because we're always hungry. When do we realize that we have enough food in our belly that we don't have to get more and don't have to register for OA, for Overeaters Anonymous? Or when can we say, I've had enough alcohol in me that I don't need to continually drown myself in it and have to join AA in order to get myself out of the throes of alcoholism? And the same thing goes for virtually everything under the sun. It doesn't necessarily have to be physically toxic. It can be spiritually toxic as well. And the toxicity comes from the inability to be able to say, Dayyenu, I have enough. This is enough for me. That I get up in the morning and I can open my eyes and see the world, Dayyenu. Not everybody is so privileged. When I get up in the morning and I can open my ears and hear the sounds of the world around me, can I say Dayyenu? Can I say Dayyenu when I put on my clothes? When I eat my breakfast or drink my coffee or whatever it might be? When do we arrive at the point of maturity enough to be able to say of ourselves and our life, Dayyenu? It's looking at the world with new eyes. That is what Passover ultimately is all about. Can we perceive ourselves and other, as well as the universe, as a gift that we are undeserving of and therefore greatly appreciative of, like looking at the stars in the heavens at night and feeling a sense of awe and wonder at them. You did when you were a child. Why did we stop? I want to share a story with you that appeared in the Jerusalem Post some years back, written by Barbara Sofer, who invited a bunch of guests to her home to share dinner with her. And as they were around the table talking, one woman, Penina, indicated, having come from Great Britain, that she came to Israel to explore her roots and to find out better who she was. And she was asked by her various friends, did you find what you were looking for? Her response was quite remarkable, and I want to read it to you. She said, when I was sitting on the embankment near the Western Wall, that is the Kotel, I was wondering what I could do to maintain this feeling of holiness that I felt when I went back to England. Of course, most people at the wall were praying. Well, you can pray, I thought to myself, but prayer has never really done much for me. Nevertheless, I walked down to the kotel. I wasn't exactly asking for a sign from heaven, but I thought I would give it a try. There was a large pile of prayer books, Sidurim, scattered on the table in the women's section. I didn't know one from another. Nevertheless, I took a long time looking at them until finally I chose one. A Siddur with a white cover seemed to be calling to me, so much so that I only wanted this particular book. So I took it and stood at the kotel. My Hebrew is basic, not enough to read the prayers exactly or easily, but I manage the script and I know some words. And for some reason I decided to read the inscription. I struggled with the Hebrew until I figured it out. It said, "To Penina with love." Silence encompassed the table, and she turned to her friends and said, "Now I ask you, what do you make of this?" And I ask you, my friends, what do you make of this? What do you make of the miraculousness of your very being, the miraculousness of your life, everything that surrounds you? Can you be brave enough, wise enough, spiritual enough to be able to say, Dayyenu, I have enough. I am enough. This is enough. When we finally reach that point, we will have reached a level of maturity that we have been wanting to reach all of the years of our life, and then closer than ever to our home. Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach.